Today I'm declaring my love for skirt steak.
A big thanks to Cheddo Chef for sponsoring this episode.
This is one of the most beautiful and delicious steak that there is. The reason why I love it so much is because if you grill this steak, it always turns out juicy. It always turns out very, very tasty. It's a little less tender than the most extreme tender steaks, but I love a little bit of chew. And this is just a thing of beauty to me. I love it better than ribeye. I love it better than beef tenderloin. I love it better than whatever steak comes to mind that you love so much. I love this better.
You wanted to hit it,
Look,
right?
look, no. No, we don't hit the skirt steak. We hit all other steaks, but we do not hit the skirt steak. This thing is an absolute beauty. Look at the intramuscular fat right there. This is not a Wagyu skirt steak. It's just a good skirt steak. But it looks like something out of a dream. I know I have weird dreams, I must admit. But it's just so beautiful to me. We're going to make a stuffing. And it starts with garlic. I'm going to need 3 garlic cloves. I'm going to peel them and chop them real fine. These are going to go into the jar. Then I'm going to take 3 large shallots and I'm going to chop them fine just as I did with the garlic. And then I'm going to chop fine 100 grams of anchovies. Don't worry about it, you won't be able to taste the fish. It's just a natural way to add salt to this dish. Once it's all fine, it's going to go in with the onion and the garlic. I'm also going to add the oil from the anchovies and another 100 grams of capers. I'm going to mix it up and take out about 400 grams of dried tomatoes. You need to chop these real fine. It's a little bit of work because these things are a little tough, but it's well worth the effort. Then it's time for the Parmesan cheese to make its appearance. This is about 200 grams that I'm just gonna grate onto the tomatoes. These sun-dried tomatoes, they have already been seasoned. So it has plenty of flavor. But by adding the cheese, we're getting umami from the tomato, umami from the cheese. So this is gonna be a very strong umami flavored dish. You see cheese flying around. A little bit of happiness in the air. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. It's not snowing, it's cheesing. Now I'm going to add the garlic, the capers, the onions, and the anchovies. There we go, just get it all on there. Now I'm going to go in with my hands and I'm going to mix it all up. I'm going to knead this into one big tasty paste. You can call it a pesto if you like. And you can put it on toast, crackers, on whatever you like, but I'm gonna put it in my favorite steak. So that means I'm gonna load it up and then roll it up. So I wanna see how much skirt steak I'm gonna need for one roll. And about this amount is gonna make plenty of one steak. So I'm gonna make my cut right there, set it aside, do another one, like that, right there. And then hopefully we can make another one. All right, so we're gonna get 3 stuffed steaks out of this. I'm gonna grab a handful of that stuffing and sprinkle it on. It's gonna be so good. Of course, we got plenty, but I'm only gonna use half.
Nah.
Yes, I'll tell you later on what the other half is for, but it's gonna be so good. You're gonna be, I'm not gonna tell you. I really wanna tell you, but I'm not gonna tell you right now. You'll see in a minute. Don't do it. I see that finger scrolling to the front to see what's going on, what's coming next, but don't do it. Just wait. All right, now we have a big surface, a big flat surface. And then I'm gonna roll up the individual steaks. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Stick a skewer through, 1, 2, and cut it in half. And have both sides look amazing. And if you're even more of a freak, you're gonna eat this raw. That's so good. Let's roll this up. There we go. That is a big boy. With the skirt steaks ready to go, it's time to fire up the barbecue. And guess what? I already did. Haha! See, it's all about thinking ahead. You gotta be ahead of the game. If you wanna grill some steaks, make sure your grill's hot when the steak is ready. And this grill is now ready because I fired it up an hour ago. I started with some birch wood that I chopped up into kindle. Then I built it up as a base, started the fire, waited until the birch almost burned down and started adding beech wood, which is a hardwood and it burns down into beautiful embers that are absolutely perfect for cooking steaks with. As you can see, I got my fire going at a low and slow pace. I got a little bit of fire in the center, I got some embers down there, and we're just going to take it slow because this is giving me plenty of heat to cook on. And especially with the steaks that we're going to be cooking later on, this is more than enough. First thing that I want to do is make the rest of our recipe. And I'm going to get my Scotchburg pan out. This is a cast iron pressed pan, which is absolutely perfect for outdoor cooking as well as indoor cooking. Time to put the rest of that stuffing in the pan, because this is going to be the base of the sauce that we're going to make for this steak recipe. And there's lots of oil in these ingredients. Just think of the cheese, which holds loads and loads of oil. So there's no need to add any further oil. We're just gonna let this come up to a temperature, slowly start melting. Fry up the onions, fry up the garlic until they're translucent and all of the ingredients are melted together. And to turn this from stuffing ingredients into a sauce, I'm going to add pomodoro. This is a silky smooth pomodoro. With a little bit of time, patience and heat from the fire, this is going to transform in one of the most delicious sauces you've ever tasted. Now I've got everything prepared and it's time to put my beautiful steaks on the grill. I'm going to take these steaks and place them not too close to the fire, but at what you could call a medium heat of this barbecue, because I'm looking to build up a crust. Now I have to practice my patience. I have to let these sit until they build up a thick crust. Yeah, and patience is not my strong suit, but I think I'll manage. All right, let's take a look at these steaks. It's been about 3 minutes and I want to see where we're at. Wow, look at that. You can see that this side is still a bit raw, and this side, which has been pointing towards the fire, is already pretty well cooked. So we're going to rotate them with the raw side towards the fire so they will cook evenly. And you can see this one is even more uneven cooked because the smaller version is cooked already and this side is not cooked yet. So we're going to rotate the whole thing, and the same goes for this one. A little bit more heat. And even though a grill like this requires a little bit more technicality and looking at the way you cook things, but that makes it exciting. Cooking over light fire with all these delicate ingredients, it really requires you to give it your best and to work at it to get it absolutely perfect. In the meantime, our sauce is almost cooked and the tomatoes turned from a savory bitterness to a sweet tomato sauce. Quick taste test. A bowl of pasta and this sauce. I will be sitting in the corner. Oh man, that's so good. Once everything is nice and crispy on the outside, cooked through on the inside, it's time to slide the steaks together and turn this from a simple steak dish into a magnificent, delicious steak recipe. With the steak cooking, it's time to add more ingredients, like a bit of mozzarella. Look at that. Fresh buffalo mozzarella just falls apart on you, and the stuff is so freaking tasty. A little bit of Parmesan cheese on top. There we go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. By now you must know I love cheese. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Look at how good this looks. Oh, wow. Well, that is a complete dish. Absolutely freaking delicious. Of course, we gotta perform the taste test, because what are you gonna do? Oh, look at it. A little bit of stuffing, tomato sauce, some of that mozzarella cheese with the Parmesan on top. That is how food is meant to taste. Come on, it's my favorite steak. I made a dish with it. What's not to like? Of course, the purists are gonna say, just give me a steak with a little bit of salt. Man, the only thing I can tell you is, you haven't lived yet. You gotta come in, you gotta discover this. This is what you wanna see. Happiness is around the corner.